is up? Welcome back to the channel. Still quarantined, still home, doing the right thing. I haven't left. I haven't driven the car in 6 days now. It's just been sitting. And I know I can go for a drive and everything, but there's really no point to go anywhere at this point. And also the car is super clean. Last time I washed it was last time I moved it. So it's just been sitting here. And yeah, so I figured I might as well get some mods knocked out that I've had sitting around. So tonight I'm actually going to be doing the roof. I'm going to be wrapping it in gloss black Avery vinyl. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the roof. I'm going to clay bar it, then I'm going to use Geon Prep and get rid of all the oils and everything and strip any wax or any coating or protection that is on the car. That way it has a good surface that the material will adhere to and give a good bond between the two. There's a couple things that you got to remove. First are these rails right here, which are very simple. There's basically just like little sliding clips. So you kind of stick, I'll show you in a bit. You stick something in there and you slide it and it comes off, and then they all kind of follow suit. This right here, you got to kind of pull down the headliner a little bit to access the nut or the bolt that connects it to the roof. So basically you just kind of go through there, take that off, and I'll be able to pull it through. I'm not going to wrap that black right now. I'm probably just going to leave it the lapis blue right, for now, mainly because honestly I don't feel like doing it. And plus it's a dark enough color that it won't look, it won't stand out too much. If it was a lighter color like white or silver or something, that really sticks out like a sore thumb on black. So I'm not really concerned about doing that. Maybe I'll do it sometime later, but for now I'm just going to focus on getting the roof done, making sure I do a good job. I'm going to tuck all the extra in you can see the seal right here. I'm going to tuck all the excess in there so it has a nice clean line. The corners are probably the hardest part about this, to make sure you get a nice even and flat corner so nothing's popping up or looks anything crazy. This is really easy because all you do is kind of overlap. Obviously I'll show you all this, but you just overlap the vinyl to like here. So there's a gap, it's kind of just floating over this. Then you can kind of just cut like right in the middle. So you have a good edge and nothing shows. You want it to be underneath this so you don't see any of the blue or the color of your car. So first off, I'm just gonna clay the car. Like I said, I'll do a quick little clip of me doing that just so you can obviously see that I'm doing it. And then I'll show you how to take the little rails off here and take off the antenna, and then we'll get to wrapping the roof. All right, so I kind of wanted to do just one off camera just to make sure, came off smoothly. And, before I actually show you how to do it, I figured it'd be easier to understand what I'm talking about if I physically show you the clips so you get a better understanding as opposed to me just trying to explain it. So I took this one off. It was very simple. As you can see, there's like a little clip, not a clip, but something that clips onto here. This is actually, you can put a roof rack on here, which is nice. It doesn't have the little cap on the rail actually, but it is available. So you can get the rails if you really want to run a roof rack. But this is what one of the clips looks like. I'll show you exactly how to get this off in a second. But then you can kind of see these little tabs around here. That's what I'll show you on the rail as well, here and the one back here. This is a rail over here, so you can kind of see the clips of what it looks like. They're all just little plastic clips and they slide, so they just slip onto those little nubs and plastic clip that I showed you. So it's very simple. That's the front one that little white nub kind of clips onto. I use this. I'll show you over here on this side. It almost seems like you're kind of breaking it. It's kind of hard to do this on camera, but you kind of you gotta you use a credit card, or this is for vinyl or anything like that, tint, anything. Some of them have the little sponges on here for soft protection, but usually I just wrap it in a microfiber. I'll show you when I actually do the wrap, but this you can just stick it in and you kind of just look for the clip. But since I know where it is, I know it's in the front, so it's kind of right here. You kind of just make your way down the rail. That was a clip. All right, this one's being a little bit more stubborn, I guess. I don't know why that side was easier, but basically you just want to slide the clips towards the front of the car. So I got them all released except for one of them, which was like right here. So it's just a matter of getting it. You're kind of going in this blindly. Oh, I think I just got it. Yeah. Oh, I got one more over here. So you just, there you go. It just popped up. So now I got them all released. Let me put this down. That was a pain in the butt on this side. The other one came off so easy. That was my first one. So now simply just pick it up. And there you go. Let's work on the antenna here. Before I clay everything, I wanted to get everything off and have it ready to go. So it'll just be, I can just start putting the vinyl on once I get everything clayed and everything. So yeah, so let me get to taking that off. I'm in the back seat. As you can see, there's 3 little clips up there. You're just gonna remove them just so you can get access to the antenna, which is right about, let's see, it's right about like, let me get the light on. It's probably like right about here. So you don't have to pull the whole liner down, obviously. But removing those little push pins there, I'm just using a plastic pry tool to pop those out so I don't damage them. And then I'll show you the next step. All right, so next you want to do, after getting those pins out, you want to just pull these side panels off here, which are also known as, I believe, the C panels. So you know, nothing is holding it in, no screws or anything. All you got to do is just pull them. There's a little access like hole right here. You can, that's where I started. I just put my fingers there and pulled. Then I was able to get good leverage and just pop them out. You don't need to take them out totally because you just need some access to be able to pull the headliner down a little bit more. I did the same on the other side, as you can kind of see. And then there's like a little, I'll show you if I can get a good angle. Kind of hard with the car seats in here, but I'm doing my best to try to not take the car seats out. So I'll show you what the nut looks like to get the antenna out. All right, so let me see if I can get you an angle. Kind of just want to pull that down and see, there it is. There's the nut that you need. I won't be able to get you an angle or a shot of me taking that out because there's not much space. But once I get it out, I'll show you what it looks like. So I got the nut out. I use a 7/8 socket. So this is the bolt. So it goes up in there and then you just have to loosen it. It wasn't really that tight, so it was pretty easy to get loose. I will say, just be careful when you're kind of bending the headliner down to get to that bolt. There is a chance of creasing the headliner. Just be really careful when you do it. Otherwise, it comes right out. So you kind of just finagle your hand in there. So basically I should be able to remove this from the roof now. I do have to unplug it from the harness, but I wanted to get it loose first. So basically I'm just gonna pop it up. There we go. As you can see, there's on the back, I don't think it's on the front. Yeah, it's on the back. There's 2 little clips, plastic clips there, which kind of holds it into place right there. And then it pops right out, but I just gotta unplug it from the harness and I'll be able to remove it. I ended up removing the handles, which is very simple to do. There's just, when you open it up, there's just a little slot right there. You just slide a flathead in there on both sides. And then once it's released, you just pull this down and you just pull them out and they come right out. The headliner was starting to crease too much and it was making me not want to do the job. So I just ended up taking them off so I get a little bit more access and I can pull the headliner down a little bit more work than I anticipated. I thought it was gonna be much easier. I mean, I guess it's not that much work, but more than I thought. So let me get this thing out. It's pretty much ready to go. I'm just trying to take out one more wire. It's a little bit harder to get to. It's not much room to work in there, but now that I got the handles out of there, I should have a little bit more room to get my hands in there and get it unplugged. All right, so finally got it unplugged. I'll show you real quick which one was an absolute pain in the butt. This one was a pain, simply because there was foam tape around it as well as electrical tape, and it was just so hard to get your hands in there and push the pin down. And the tape is on there pretty tightly, so you need to remove the tape definitely so you can, there's a pin like right here, you push the pin down and then there's something going over this. So when you push that pin down, it lifts up there. But what I did was I pushed the pin, I had a really thin flathead screwdriver, and I pulled up on the tab here and it slid right out. But that took entirely too long. Had to take out way more pieces than I anticipated, but it's done. And now finally get to cleaning up the roof, getting it prepped and ready to finally put the vinyl on. I'm just soaking this down with Adam's detail spray just to get a initial cleaning. I'm gonna clay it. I know I've said that a few times. Make sure you get in the channels here. I just wanted to get a good wipe down first, just to remove any bigger particles. The car is clean, so I wouldn't expect it really to have that much on it, but you never know. One of my clean microfibers, and do a simple wipe down. Now after I do this, like I said, I'm gonna clay it, and then once I'm done claying, I'm gonna wipe it down with Geon Prep, which kind of gets rid of all oils and anything that that could be on the paint. So once I get that done, we can start laying down the vinyl. So I use something called an auto scrub. It's a little bit easier to use. Clay is very easy, but this is just, you can reuse it over and over and over pretty much until this wears down. It's basically just kind of like a rubbery texture. You do it the same way you would with a normal clay bar. Spray some soapy water or detail spray, whatever you have, just to have some good lubricity onto the paint. You obviously don't want to scratch it. And this takes up, just like a clay bar, any imperfections and little things in the paint. Geon Prep, just gotta spray it on. Just remove any of the oils or anything left over from any wax or any detail spray or anything like that, any fingerprints. Because any job that you ever do, it's all in the prep. So as long as you do a good job prepping whatever it is you're doing, you have a much better end result. Another quick tip, before you lay it down, you obviously want everything completely dry. You don't want to have any moisture or anything underneath. Vinyl is not like tint. Tint, you actually, you want lubrication so you can move it around. Vinyl, you don't want to put any water, any soapy substance or anything underneath the actual material. So you want everything completely dry so it gets, so it adheres very nicely to the paint. It's completely ready to go. Another quick tip is get a credit card, or I use my little card vinyl, whatever you want to call it, little tool, and I wrapped it in microfiber and I stuck it in between the rubber and the roof here, and I just ran it along there. So I dried and cleaned out all the crap and moisture or anything that's in there, because I am going to be tucking the front vinyl, any excess into there, as well as the back. Same thing. You want to do the same thing here. So you just want to kind of push it over and slide a microfiber with a card or something through there. So you clean it out, and you get, when you do stick the extra vinyl in there, it sticks and stays and it's not going to come up or anything. As you can see, I obviously kind of have it laid on the car already. I needed an extra set of hands just to make sure to get the backing off, because it was a little difficult just with one person. So I had my lovely wife come and help me with that. Now all I'm doing, you just take a corner. You don't want to pull too tight because you want to create fingers, and kind of just lay it. It almost looks like it's done pretty much. I'm going to squeegee it down so all the air gets out, and it looks like paint. Basically, that's what you're going for. You want it to look as clean as possible. I'm going to add a little bit of heat to it. You don't really need to add much, because it's a pretty flat panel, and adding heat just kind of deforms things, and you don't want to add too much. So it is easier with two people, or an extra set of hands, just to say, but it can be done with one. The great thing about vinyl is you can pick it up as many times as you want. and it doesn't really lose its stickiness. Good thing to actually do is actually spray down before you start getting the air out and doing your microfiber with your card or whatever you're using, is actually just spray it down with, you know, soapy water or detail spray. It's laying down pretty nice. There's a few little, obviously I'm not done. I just did kind of just this half. You know, there's still little pockets there that literally you can smooth down with your finger, and then once you add some heat. This stuff is great. It's Avery, so it literally, you can literally get out a lot of the imperfections with just your finger as you're doing it. But it's coming along very well. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish getting all the air out of the actual top of the roof and lay it down, and then I'm gonna do all the trimming and everything, because I don't want to do the trimming first, because once I kind of heat it up and get all the air out and everything, I don't want to be short anywhere. So I'd like to kind of just get all the air out first, get it sitting nice onto the actual panel, and then I do my trimming. Hey, real quick, like example, this little bubble right here, you don't need to take it up. This stuff actually, I believe it has like a way for it to breathe. It's kind of porous, so it allows air to escape. So you just add some heat to it. You know, you just rub your finger on it and it goes away. There's a few of those things around that I'm gonna take the heat gun to, kind of just add a little bit of heat and do the same thing, and it should be pretty flawless. So this side's done with just getting the air out. I still gotta do the back here, but otherwise it's pretty much done on this side. Just gotta follow suit on the other, and then we can do the trimming. I'm finding this process to be pretty simple. It's very hard to record and do it. You know, it'd be a very boring video if I just set up the camera and just, you know, you guys watch me walk around the car and stuff. Like I said, the detail spray is really helpful because I can see I went, you know, there's still some air. Well, here's a good example. You just rub it and it's gone. Really great product. I really suggest you guys going with, you know, Avery or something along those lines in terms of, you know, a quality product, just to make sure you're getting, you're putting something good on the car. You don't want to put some cheap vinyl, because that could be an absolute nightmare. But it's very simple. Of what I've been figuring out, I have how to kind of get this lay down right. Like I have my card and my microfiber. I'm kind of just laying it, I don't know, maybe about like a 45-degree angle, and kind of just, you know, you can feel it. The more you do it, the more you understand what angle you need to go at. But you know, like you can see that right there. You just rub it and it's gone. So it's pretty simple. You just don't want to get, these things are called fingers when you pull like this right here. They're called fingers when you pull it, because it looks like fingers. And you don't want them to get too skinny. If they get too skinny, they go together and they'll stick, and then that's when you get in trouble. But thankfully this product's really forgiving and you're able to get those out pretty simply. It's just a matter of kind of pulling it up a little bit and kind of just getting it out. With a cheaper vinyl or cheaper product, that won't happen. If it creases, you're kind of SOL. But so I suggest going with something a little bit better, like Avery or 3M, something along those lines, and you'll have a much easier time laying down the product. But I literally just have to do the back half of this. I'm finding, for me, for my application, the rear is the hardest here because I have the spoiler, so I can't just lay it flat on the window. I have to kind of pull it up and lay it against the spoiler. Thankfully, I have it a little bit down. It's not right up against the roof line, so I have some room to actually tuck it into that weather seal there. But otherwise, if you don't have that roof spoiler there, you can just lay it flat on the window and you'll have a good, I guess, good transition from the roof to the window. Mine's a little bit more difficult, but it did it really well on that side, so we're good over there. So I just got to finish getting all the air out on this side. And as I said earlier, just got to start, I'm going to do the trimming. I'm going to do here first, and then I'm going to make sure all the air's out, and then I'm going to eventually, and then I'm going to do the corners. Those are really important. And then I'm going to cut on the front and rear windshield and tuck those things in, put everything back together, and we should be set. All right, guys, so I started doing the trimming. I'm starting on this side. I trimmed this off, so I left it probably about a ½ inch or so overlap, so I can tuck that in. This part's pretty simple. You know, I'm just doing it with my finger. You just want to kind of push over here and just make sure you get all the air out, and then kind of just lay it down. and you can smooth out anything here. So that's about how much I have overlapping. And I'm obviously going to finish this along the whole way. I'm going to do the other side as well over here. I don't know if I'll be able to catch it on camera. Like I said, this is really hard to film with, you know, just one person, but all I did, I mean, this is all air right here, so it's very easy to trim. So you just want to cut, follow the line down here, you know, and then just tuck everything in the same. And then I'll probably do the rear right here, get that done, then finish up with the front. I already cut the little hole for the antenna, so that's ready to go. But now it's just the trimming part. So this is, I guess this is the scariest part, because if you screw up, all that work you just did is kind of, you know, down the drain. But I'm pretty confident. It's very easy to cut. It's very simple. You kind of just follow the lines of the actual car. It's very simple. It's, you know, you can see the lines where you need to cut. I'm just going to always just make sure you cut a little bit more than you actually need, just so you have a little bit extra overlap just in case. But yeah, let me finish trimming everything up, and then I'll, you know, I'll show you what it looks like before I put all the rails and stuff back on, and then I'll show you the finished product. So what I'm doing to tuck it in here, it's a little, it's just tedious, but once you get a rhythm down, it's a lot easier. You know, I did that whole side. So basically 2 of these is your best bet. You just want to stick one between the actual roof and the actual vinyl. You kind of just slide it down. So you're pushing up the little weather stripping, and then as you move, you tuck this one in and just push it down. What that does is, whoops, figures. What that does is it holds the rubber up, and you're able to tuck the vinyl in. So you get a nice clean line along the whole entire roof line. All right, so I got the back done, 2 sides. Got some really nice corners here, no buckling or scrunching or anything. A nice clean line here, as you can see, perfect. No bubbles anywhere, everything got down really smooth. I'm gonna put some heat into this, but just so it lays a little bit flatter. There's a couple of bubbles here, which is not a big deal. But you know, it's really cut really nice. I trimmed it around here, so there's nothing in the way. I still got to do the front. I'll show the other side real quick. So this went down really nice. I kind of trimmed around here as well. Like I said, there's still a little bit bubbles here because I didn't push it, I didn't heat it yet. But yeah, really happy. I was really dreading this part just because the roof spoiler here was a pain in the butt. But after I found like a little bit of a technique, it went good. So really happy with how it's coming out. I just got to finish the front, which is pretty easy. I shouldn't say that though, because I'm not done. But once I get that finished, again, I'll show you the product, or the finished product, before I put all the rails on and everything. Just, you know, you can see the cuts and the lines and everything. Make sure you know, everything looks good before I put it all back together. And I mean, so far I'm really liking it. The nice thing about this is, you know, the car is blue, duh. But the black on top, it's subtle. It's not like in your face. I do love black roofs on white cars too, which is really cool. It has a nice contrast. But with this, for me, I like subtlety. I don't like anything crazy. So just doing the gloss black roof, I think, is really cool. And the nice part about this, the Avery, is it doesn't scratch as easily. If you use a cheaper material, you know, just doing what I did with the microfiber and everything, going over it lightly, will leave marring all over the place, and it will look terrible. So do yourself a favor, get Avery or 3M. I prefer Avery just because it's easier to work with. Today it is 76, and it's almost 10:30 at night. It was really warm today, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna knock it out and get it done. You know, I don't want to wait until, like, you know, later in the year when it gets really warm. I just wanted to get it done because it's been sitting here for a while. But I will say, this was about 75 bucks, I think. It's a 5x6 sheet of Avery. I got it from Metro Restyling. So I'll put a link in the description below where I got it. I'll say this at the end of the video as well, but just in case anybody's actually watching this whole video, there you go. Finished. Trim looks perfect. The edges look awesome. Can't even tell they're there. Very cool. So I'm just gonna take a quick heat gun to it before I start putting the rails and the antenna back on. I just wanted to add a little heat to it just to kind of promote the adhesive behind the material, just to kind of warm it up a little bit and make it, you know, adhere to the paint a little bit better. But it's on there really well, so I'm not afraid of that. But it's always good to add a little bit of heat. And if you have any like little bubbles or any little things you need to get out, you can get it out then. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a sort of a finished product, I guess. I don't know, it's not completely done, but you get the idea. Very subtle, but it should look much more pronounced in the sun. You know, it's obviously nighttime now, but once, you know, I'll eventually get some outside shots and everything of it. Maybe do like a video of what I think of it, you know, once I get a little bit of time with it. But for now, I really like it. It's very subtle, very cool. So yeah. Finished product. For you, obviously that was just like a couple seconds, but for me, it was like a couple hours maybe. I don't know, it's 11:45 at night. So it took, I guess, what time I started? I started about 8:30, 8 o'clock. So it took me roughly like 3 hours or so. You know, I was taking my time. I wasn't rushing. Obviously, I was recording and stuff. So, you know, I obviously you can do it a little bit faster, but there's absolutely no rush. You know, I'm not trying to go anywhere, or, you know, I wasn't trying to do a crappy job. I really wanted to do this really well and make sure that, you know, the money that I put out for it, it was being put to good use. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. All the edges are absolutely perfect. All the corners and everything looks great. There may be a couple little, not bubbles, but a couple little things that once it gets in the sun and kind of heats up a little bit more, it'll settle. But I'm just super happy with how it turned out. I'm kind of impressed with myself. Yeah, it didn't bother me as much. If I ever decide, I decided if I ever want to have that black, I'm just gonna get an OEM black, like, you know, jet black antenna. I don't feel like wrapping it. I don't think it would turn out the way that I wanted, you know, as cleanly as I would like it. So just getting an OEM black antenna, I think, might be the best, or just get it painted or something. But for now, I think it looks fine. It doesn't bother me at all. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really good. It's so hard to see on camera. It's not really like, you know, it doesn't really stand out that much, which is exactly what I wanted. You know, I didn't want anything that was going to jump out at you and be crazy. You know, I was like, oh, maybe I should do like a carbon fiber. I was like, you know what? That looks ridiculous. Why would I put carbon fiber on the car, on the roof of the car, when it's not carbon fiber? You know, it's like, it's one of those things. I just wanted to keep it classy. And the more I look at it, the more, you know, gloss black stuff I have on the car. Like the bezels here, the grill for now is gloss black. The side pieces here are gloss black. And I think it just fits the car better. Doing carbon fiber, I think, would have been a little too much. That's the video. I don't want to ramble too much. It's dark out, so I'm sorry, I can't really get you some daytime shots. But I'm really happy with it. Obviously, there is some of it, like an orange peel look to it. That's just the vinyl. I expected that, obviously, but I think it looks just fine. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm really anal about that stuff, so I'm really happy with that. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, I'll link everything below, where I got the product and everything and the size that you need, just so if anybody's interested in getting this done or doing it themselves, they can do it, no problem. I will say, if you never used vinyl before, or this is your first time wrapping something, for something like this, I would definitely go to professional, somebody that knows what they're doing, a shop, a friend or something that's done it before, just because it can get frustrating very quickly if you've never done it. You don't understand how the product works or how it reacts and everything. So I definitely would suggest bringing it somewhere if you're not comfortable doing it. It's not that much. I believe people do it for anywhere from like 100 to 200 bucks. And you know, that's including the materials. So it's not that big of a deal, or too expensive, I should say, if this is something you're looking to do, but you're not comfortable doing it yourself. So it doesn't break the bank, and I think it really looks good. So yep, that's the video. I don't want to ramble too much. I ramble all the time. So thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask them below. If you haven't liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're a newcomer, be sure to subscribe. I really do thank you for coming and watching my video. And if you watch any other videos, I do appreciate that as well. But yeah, that's it for this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.